My name is Fugan, and it really is wonderful to be practicing together, face to face, even as we sit in these sort of disparate places across some pretty large distances. As I'm sitting here and seeing Fugan Hoshi, I'm reminded of something he often has said when we've sat Zazen Kai out here, and that's that this work we're doing is really radical, sitting quietly together, uh, peeling back the layers and looking into this matter, trying to clarify our lives in a world that's so bent on distraction. You know, it feels radical. And right now, where things are so completely wound up, it feels like a balm, something I know I really need, and something I think we uh, really need to come together for. And doing this over the internet is even more radical, subversive. You know, this space that's mostly about distraction, and here we are using it for good, I think. So as Joanne said, I'm talking to you from Hyannis-Sendo, and we're the Eastern Massachusetts affiliate to the village Sendo. And Hyannis is the name of the town here, and it's also the name of our Sangha. And it's a name derived from Iano, who was a leader of the Wampanoag community that cared for these lands for many centuries before the Pilgrims arrived. The name Wampanoag can be translated as people of the light or people of the east. And that refers to this land where they did and still do live, this spit of Cape Cod that juts out into the Atlantic Ocean. You know, and many of us are here today, the Hyannis Sangha that is. And for those of you who sat with us, you know that we have this wonderful natural space right outside the Zendo. And in the summer, it's densely packed. It's this kind of world of green, trees, plants, vines, animals, and birds and insects. It's just thriving and dense. But now that fall is in the air, we're seeing this change happen. It's in the light, it's in the breeze, in this kind of freshness and coolness that's come in. And right behind the Zendo, the leaves are turning already, yellow and red. And they're beginning to let go and drop away from their branches. And in the process, the space is really changing. The saltwater marsh that's just behind this dense grove of trees is becoming visible again. And beyond that, the ocean, we're starting to see it again. So yesterday I was sitting out back and watching the leaves fall, and I was thinking about an image painted by Hakuin, who was a Japanese monk who lived from the mid-17th to the mid-18th century. And the image that comes to mind is one of his monkey paintings, a really famous painting. And the monkey is hanging from one hand from a branch and reaching down with the other. It's a playful depiction, and it comes from a long tradition of Japanese Zen ink paintings of monkeys. And since we can do this here, I think I will share an image with you for a moment. So this is the image I was thinking of. This wonderful little monkey. And the theme here, well, this is, first I should say, unlike professional Japanese artists who had really dominated this style of ink painting in the centuries before Hakuin. Hakuin paints this monkey with simplicity and with great freedom. These comically long arms and skinny hands and fingers are stretched out as he reaches after a reflection of the moon in the water below him, which is actually lying just out of view. The theme is traditional and it comes from an old Buddhist story. Seeing the reflection of the moon in the water at the bottom of a deep well, the Monkey King was afraid that the moon had actually fallen in and was going to sink out of sight. So he gathered 500 of his disciples, his followers, and created a chain of monkeys, each holding the tail of the monkey in front of them. And they stood on a branch that hung over the well, and they lowered the Monkey King down deep into the well to rescue the moon. But the weight of 500 monkeys was too much for the branch. And before he could get to the moon, the branch broke and the monkeys fell in the well and drowned. So, as we know, in Zen, the moon symbolizes enlightenment. The Monkey King was, of course, chasing after just a reflection of enlightenment, mistaking the idea, this image of the moon for the moon itself. Caught in delusion, he and his followers lost their lives. And so maybe Hakuin's monkey is also stuck. Maybe he can't reach the water because he won't let go of the branch. And if we see him this way, hanging on tight to what he knows, he can never find out what's below. Hakuin inscribed a poem in the branches of the monkey's tree, and that helps clarify his meaning. The monkey is reaching for the moon in the water. Until death overtakes him, he'll never give up. If he'd let go of the branch and disappear into the deep pool, the whole world would shine with dazzling pureness. So what is this letting go of the branch, opening the hand? When we let go, our hands are empty. And empty-handed, we can let go and disappear into the deep pool Hakuin is talking about. Free ourselves from narrow views and encounter the world around us. And this is what Suzuki Roshi was talking about when he talked about beginner's mind, a mind that's not full of ideas, not restricted by the knowledge, the known. Elsewhere, Hakuin describes this empty-handed Zen, quoting Dogen's enlightenment experience, dropping away mind and body, body and mind dropping away. It, says Hakuin, is like two mirrors reflecting one another without even a shadow of an image in between. Not holding on, the pure dazzling splendor of the marsh and the ocean can be revealed. So right now, sort of needless to say, the world feels and really is in many ways very safe and unscary. Very unsafe and scary, I should say. Just a glance at the headlines is enough to kind of wind me up, right? Climate change is on such vivid and devastating display out west. These record heats and fires and loss of many human lives and countless other lives. Storms that are getting more intense, sea level rising, which, out here on our our little spit of Cape Cod, we're sensitive to, as is everyone on the island of Manhattan, of course. The ocean temperatures are rising and the acidity is changing dramatically. We're in the midst, they say, of the sixth mass extinction, and on and on. And of course, maybe even more pressing for us at this moment, and hence our meeting here online, the coronavirus is out of control. 911,000 people about have died around the world, and more than 20% of those are here in the US. Well, the ongoing systematic assault on Black and brown bodies and lives has gained greater attention in the public. Rather than healing from that attention, we've really fallen into this division, and the assaults and murders continue. Our nation feels and is wrapped up in greed, anger, and ignorance. And suffering is not an individual sport, nor is enlightenment. We're locked away, afraid and depressed, and feeling this communal suffering. And so maybe letting go of the distractions that our screens offer and falling into this world right now might seem a little dicey. And if we're like the Monkey King, lost in our delusions of what it should be, clinging to our old ideas, holding the branch of our version of the world, then great suffering will only continue to build. We won't meet the racism that we hold in us and that is happening around us because we're going to deny it even exists. We won't be able to talk to people who view the world differently because we can't hear them. And we won't be able to meet this, kind of generational or more than that, this species challenging issue of climate change. And we'll just become more choked by our fears. But to me, I don't think Hakuin's monkey is so stuck like the Monkey King. The Monkey King only saw relative and absolute as separate. And he was trapped in his delusion of enlightenment, his reaching for that moon down the well. But, well, letting go is it. Reaching could also be it. Hakuin's poem says, "Until death shall never give up." And don't we really need that great determination right about now? This great will to practice, that when death comes, death in this case may be the metaphor of body and mind dropping away and entering the dazzling pureness Hakuin talks about. We don't get stuck there, because holding on to this bliss, this motionless state, is also delusion. It's also a drowning. So dropping away allows entering into our grief and fear, allows us to bear witness to the grief in others, honoring their experience as they are. And with our hearts open, we can let compassion arise. And with this great determination of the monkey, we can know how to step forward and act. Not trapped in a well of delusion or clinging to the bliss of extinction is really the Bodhisattva way and the Bodhisattva vow. And so with this way of being, we can become intimate with the leaves falling out here, letting our clinging drop and revealing the ocean beyond. when we walk like this, we can't help but be aware of those who came before us on this land. Honor them, recognize the trauma caused by our lifestyle, and work to maybe reduce our footprint. When we drop in like the monkey and we walk in a park or along the shore, we can't help but step forward and work towards ending this system that's so devastating to so many of our brothers and sisters. And we become open to listening and learning about what needs to be done, what we need to do ourselves. So a few weeks ago, Enkyo Roshi reminded us that the wisdom that gives rise to compassion, prajna, is wisdom before knowing. And this great don't know mind can only appear when we open our hand from that branch. And this don't know mind is wisdom that takes action in the world. Thinking about putting this to use today in this chaotic moment, I'm reminded of Sudana, the young boy whose journey of awakening is the story of the Gandavyuha Sutra, which Thomas Cleary translates nicely as enter into the realm of reality. According to the sutra, Sudana's path takes him across many lands throughout India. Many of these are real cities, but he also goes into mystical mountain abodes, visits magic lakes, and crosses endless deserts. And the 53 teachers that he meets along the way are male and female, and in at least one version transgender. There are goddesses and monks, nuns and lay people, mystics, courtesans, and his teachers come from all walks of life, all castes and classes, and his teachers are all his experiences and encounters along the way. Sudana travels to some Buddha lands that are beyond compare. And he also travels to countries with corrupt leaders who are executing and dealing death to their citizens. He's given some great visions of beauty and wonder, and he's also trapped in worlds of lies and delusions. And in one particularly harrowing encounter, he enters a valley of fire and scorched lands, where he has to climb a razor ridge mountain to meet a priest, to meet one of his teachers. And when he finds this teacher, the priest is practicing severe austerities, surrounding himself with bonfires in the burning desert. He's writhing on razor-sharp rocks of the Sword Mountain, and he's burned and bloody. And Sudana is terrified and thinks that he's actually face to face with a demon. And yet here too, Sudana lets go, letting himself get burned and bloodied. He lets go into this fearful world, and it too becomes his teacher. He gets into some good trouble. And after a long, extensive journey, Sudana meets his last teacher, Samantabhadra Bodhisattva, universally good, who is known for his great will to action, to take action in the world. And this Bodhisattva, we know, rides on a great elephant, this elephant of his great vow, his great determination. This vow of a lifetime until death, to bring the Bodhisattva vow to life. And this Samantabhadra energy is in us. We're peeling away the covering today as we sit here together in this kind of subversive way in the world. And it helps us step forward into the world of difference. Samantabhadra tells Sudana at the end of this journey of meeting all these sages and Buddhas and gods and goddesses, he says, you are equal to the Buddhas and all bodhisattvas. Henceforth, the people you encounter will not be Buddhas and bodhisattvas or any kind of teacher. They will each and every one of them be a living creature that you will have to meet with wisdom and compassion. And so, we continue letting go and stretching forwards. The monkey's great unending determination, reaching until death. And this is just joining this Zazenkai today. Staying awake after lunch during our sleepy period of Zazen. It's taking care of your patients at work. Raising your voice during protest. Sending these exquisite images to the village Sendo listserv and lifting all our spirits so beautifully. Doing your art and painting and ceramics, music, cooking a meal for ourselves. Our practice is coming back again and again. So we are journeying through these worlds, entering them fully and reaching forward. Those burning worlds we live in now and those dazzling pureness, those of dazzling pureness are right here, right now. So on a refrigerator, we have a picture of Hakuin's monkey. And this one has Enkyo Roshi's reply to Hakuin. And to me, there are also words that can help guide us on our bodhisattva journey. So I want to finish with Enkyo's poem. She says, "O monkey mind, what are you reaching for? Above, below, to the right or the left? What do you think is missing? Breathe in, settle this monkey mind. What you search for is not there. It is right here, now." Thank you for your practice.